Hello everyone, Charles Wayne here. So I am here today at the Crystal Wizard on the Oregon coast with Soul Coach Shelley.
Hi.
So I'm going to ask her to tell us a little bit about herself, and then we'll get into igniting souls through the divine, which is our subject of conversation today.
Hi, I'm Shelley. I've been out at the Oregon coast since 2013, and I work out of the Crystal Wizard, as well as I work out of my Airstream, and I travel to different areas, and I work with souls that are ready to be ignited through the divine. I'm a certified professional soul coach, as well as I specialize in grief recovery, and I do a lot of shamanic work, as well as I'm a Reiki master. So I use all of these skills that I've learned and that I feel that I've come in with into this lifetime to ignite your soul and activate you in a way to get you to look at your life maybe in a new way and take some new steps in order to move forward and live the life that you were really meant to live here.
All right, so there's some about Shelley. So I just want to give a quick review, testimonial type of thing about how we met. So we're at the Crystal Wizard right now. I don't know if you've ever been here. It's on the Oregon coast. It is one of the most amazing places in the world, I think, personally, myself, in my opinion. So I come in here a lot, just because I like to walk in the building. I like to just get immersed in the energy of the crystals. I feel like when you walk into this place, you spend 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, just looking around at things. You walk out and your vibration is already just kind of different. It's just kind of, you feel like uplifted. You just feel like you've had just a little bit of help on your way, But, so I came in here one day, and this was, about a month ago, 2 months ago, somewhere around in there. And I wasn't really looking for anything. I wasn't even really planning to buy anything or anything like that. I just wanted to come in here and just have an experience. And from the moment I walked in the door, I felt the connection with Shelley. It's like we had almost already knew each other in a past lifetime. And I definitely believe we have. So I started looking around, whatnot. We were talking for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes or whatever. And then she handed me one of her cards. And how do you say that, Akashic?
Yeah, Akashic Records.
So once I seen that on the card and you told me you did that, I had always wondered about that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I'll remind you, I wasn't looking for anything when I came in here. So I kind of just felt it right away. I was like, get a reading. And the type of person I am, if I feel something in the moment, I do it. I don't think about this or that. A lot of times I just go and do it. Because that's the best way to do things, Mm-hmm. If you get that feeling inside you that it's it's without a doubt, just it pulls you to it, You should just go ahead and do it, whatever it is. So I got a reading from Shelley, and it's just it ignited something within me, It brought me to a better understanding of myself, a better understanding of the stuff I was going through. And what's crazy is she didn't really know nothing about me when she did the reading. Yeah, it was our first day ever meeting each other, and we were just talking about crystals and stuff for that 45 minutes. So I wasn't giving her a bunch of information about myself or anything like that. And during the reading, I could just really tell it was authentic, because I've had a reading from many different people, and I kind of feel that maybe some people who give you a reading, they don't connect with your vibration as well, or maybe something of that nature. But it was just something about the reading I got from Shelley that just helped me out so much. And so enough of me talking.
So when I read the Akashic Records, for instance, Charles comes in and we talk a little, and he says, I'd like to have a session with you. I open up the Akashic Realm. The Akashic Realm are the records of your soul that every soul has of every lifetime that they've lived. And so what we do is I say a prayer, there's a silent part, and the Akashic records are open. And then I also, so I'm a very strong intuitive, and I read thought forms, as well as I'm connecting to your guides, masters, and teachers and loved ones on the other side, as well as, in the present as well. And so what we want to do when we're in the records is we want to activate the soul to hear their internal messages, validate and acknowledge where they are and where they're coming from. And how that happens is I receive thought forms, and I'm telling you about what's going on in your life, what's happening, and then you're telling me, yeah, that's so right, and you're understanding that I am reading you and that we are connecting into a higher realm, as well as I bring in a vibrational energy through the Akashic records for you to feel, as well as to be in a healing realm, so that energetically you can receive that vibrational healing, as well as hear words of wisdom and guides and masters leading you and helping you understand where you are in this lifetime. They may show you a past lifetime that you've experienced, and that's the energy of that past lifetime is still playing out in this lifetime, and they'll show me that in vivid details, and I'll give you that information, and then we'll talk about what in that past lifetime is affecting this lifetime. And so it's a full spectrum in that moment, on that day, of where you're at and what your guides and masters want to talk to you about, as well as activate within you energetically, so that you can have a place to go from there, as well as being a certified professional coach through the Institute of Professional Excellency in Coaching. I have skills. I help you with looking at limited beliefs. I help you understand what energy level you're at. I'm certified in the Energy Mastery Program, so I help you understand where you are, as well as give you tools and steps for moving forward and taking action in your life. I'm also grief recovery, as well as helping you to understand that if you're grieving over something, and there are 43 different losses that you can deal with in a lifetime, I help you to understand that grief is a process that you're in and that you can move forward from. And I give you tools as well and steps to take for that.
All right. So, under the grief recovery thing, one thing I was going to say was, I feel like a lot of people in this lifetime kind of like push away grief. Instead of like really bringing it in, bringing it to resolution, and saying, why do I feel like this? Why is this happening to me? Because like I truly believe in this lifetime, you create your life. You create everything that comes into it. Yet everything that comes into it is to serve you, not to harm you in any kind of way. So if you are going through a negative experience, it's probably just because you haven't cleared it yet. You haven't really did what you needed to get through it. Yes. Whatever that is.
Right. So maybe you've for me, I'll give an example of my story, is that when I was 22, my sister was in a tragic car accident, and then she lived in a comatose state for 7 years. And so I was grieving for over 23 years of my life. And when I went to take the grief recovery training, I realized that grief was a part of my life, and that I'd been holding on to it. And I'd go to doctors, and they'd say, "Oh, you're depressed. You need antidepressants." The pills never worked for me. They made me sick, so therefore I couldn't take them. And it was underlying grief that was holding on to me for a good part of my life. And once I went and completed the loss of my sister Jennifer, and I worked through the steps that you learn in the grief recovery process that I teach you in a 7-week program, I was able to fully release that grief and process it and complete it, and I became a completely new person. I wasn't who I was before, holding on to all of that grief, all of that repressed emotion that I held on to in my solar plexus and my navel center, and that made me sick. And that when we hold on to something and we don't resolve it, that's when we get sick inside. We create disharmony inside of ourselves. And any illness or sickness is because of dis-ease in the mental, emotional, physical body, and you're holding on to it. And once you learn how to process through it and complete it, that's when you become healed. That's when you become healthy. That's when you're no longer sick. So I feel that any grief that you're holding on to, you can process through it. Yes, it's hard, it's challenging, but it's so worth it in the long run.
And I feel like people overlook the I just had it in my mind. I'll have it here in a second. So people, like, when people talk about health and stuff like that, they'll talk about, oh, you need to eat better, or oh, you need to go exercise, or you need to do this or that. I hardly hear anybody talking about those type of things, though. Like, really coming to resolution with grief in your life and things of that. Like, I feel like those things are just so overlooked as far as health goes. People are like, oh, if you just eat the green diet all the time and you exercise, that's the key to health. But another essential key to health is you being in a state of well-being. You being in a state of, coming to resolution with the things in your life that are troubling you.
And it's processing the emotion, and it's finding someone who will be able to pull that out of you with compassion, with love, with unconditional acceptance of who you are and where you are. And I would say, and I'm not saying this from my ego, but I would say that one of the specialties about my work is that at a soul level, I came in with compassion. And I truly believe that experiencing everything that I've experienced in this lifetime, the heavy grief, and many other scenarios, I could go on and on about many different griefs, but there's no reason to, because what I've learned is all of that is part of my process, and it's part of the healing, and it's part of allowing myself to take the steps to relieve the grief, process it, as well as to show compassion to myself where I am. And it's also allowing myself to release it physically, which could mean that you come in a session with me and we really go into a release, and we really allow some emotions that are really stuck in your heart or stuck in your solar plexus to be released. And I help you do that through drumming or through using my energy through my Reiki hands to activate that, for you to feel safe and for you to understand that if you're holding it in your body, you're creating that disharmony, you're creating that sickness. And you can go work out all you want, but if you're still holding on to all of that repressed emotion, you're not going to be able to move forward and let it go and allow yourself to heal in a really beautiful way.
And definitely, and that healing, really, really affects your life. It affects how your life happens. If you're holding on to that negative grief, you could be doing everything else that, makes you feel good about yourself. But that one little percent, that will rise to the surface. It rises to the surface in a way that you can't ignore it.
Yes, and that can be in a form of resentment. It can be in a form of anger. We're humans. We're souls in physical bodies navigating this earth and learning how to evolve and grow through our relationships with others and with ourselves. And it's so vitally important, if you want to be emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally 100% well-being, and you want to feel good, and you want to have a full experience and live your purpose, you want to look at those things that you're holding on to that are no longer serving you, and allow yourself the process to energetically release those. And I give you tools for that. And I also do my work not just via in-person at the Crystal Wizard. I do it via traveling in my Airstream to your area, as well as do phone and Skype sessions.
And in the reading you gave me, we did some of the work you're talking about. The drum, which I would show you the drum, but the camera's kind of sitting on it right now. But yeah, and you had the crystal. You mind if I touch that?
No, of course, please.
This crystal right here, and I remember I was holding it, and it just, by simply holding a crystal like this, you can already feel your vibration change. And nonetheless, when you start putting intention into the crystal, like another person puts intention into it to help you heal, like that's a whole other thing, because now they're using their energy to help you too. And it's not just like, things are easier with help, everything in life. It's a little bit easier with help and
tools, and being able to, just for instance, take a bell and put it up to his ear and activate his vibration. Just simple things like that, but they work. And knowing that all crystals hold the energy, wisdom. This crystal was actually gifted to me by a client, And she told me this is the wisdom of the ancients, and you can see it through the facets of all of the crystal. And so I believe that using the tools that we have here on planet Earth to do your healing, as well as allowing yourself to feel what you feel, show compassion to yourself, and allow yourself to do the work at the same time.
So, is there anything else you would like to talk about?
I think we're good right now.
It looks like we have came to resolution. So, the only thing I got to say to everyone is I hope y'all have a great day.
Yeah.
And I hope that you find a way to come to resolution yourself. And if you already have did that, great. You know, if you feel like you did that, nothing else is needed, you know? Mm-hmm. But if you don't feel like you've had that or have come to completion with that, I would seriously look into it, you know? In whatever way you need to. I mean, I can't tell you there's a certain way you could deal with things or this or that, because it's totally, you know, situational. It's so on the person. Mm-hmm. They know what they're going through. They know what they've been through. They know what they need to do to change it. But a lot of times doing those things is not the easiest thing in the world at all. And, you know, it might be tough, but at the end of the day,
you're worth it.
Yes, you are worth it, and seeking resolution is a lot better than not. And just coming to completion within yourself and just being totally all right with who you are and everything that is around you. You know, not saying you have to sit in a bad situation or anything like that, but, you know, just doing what you need to do to make your life something that's full of love, light, and prosperity. And that is my final words for the day. Everybody have a great day. Charles Wayne here, Soul Coach Shelley.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy Wednesday.